Hey everybody, how's it going? How are you? Good to see you. I missed you guys. I haven't posted in a couple of weeks and I realized that. I'm very aware of that. I realized that I haven't even really given you guys an update on what it's been like to be off of house arrest finally. As many of you know, my ankle monitor was taken off about a month ago now, so I just wanted to let you know what's been going on and what it's been like. I have a lot to say about it and I want to save that for the next video mostly, but I'll kind of give you a little brief overview of what I've been up to for the last month. And then I just briefly want to talk about the channel and sort of make some public commitments to make it easier for me to stick to them so that I don't let this wonderful YouTube thing that we've got going on here get put on the back burner too much. All right, so what's been going on this month since I was released? For those of you who don't know, I was just in prison for a year and then 2 years on house arrest, so 3 years total of incarceration, if you will. I was incarcerated on drug charges. I was very addicted to heroin and meth, and I was caught selling those drugs. If you don't know already and you want to know more about all that, you can look through my other videos. So I've done those 3 years and now I am on parole for another year, more than a year. So the first week that I got off was very, very hectic. The first thing I needed to do was to get my parole officer to sign off on doing the hike that I did. If you want to see that video, check out the last video I posted. So I had to get approval for that. I had to create a whole itinerary for her to submit to get a travel pass to be allowed to leave the state and be away from my apartment to do the hike. Once I got approval for that, I was like getting permits and then getting the rest of my stuff together just kind of hurriedly because I only had a few days before I was supposed to be leaving. The other thing that happened that week was that on the day I got released, on the 16th of September, I started a new job, a second job. I'm not sure why I did that to myself, but it's a remote job doing some telehealth work, so kind of dipping my toe back into the medical industry a little bit. I don't know if I'll do any more than that, but so far it's been kind of nice to just be working on charts and stuff again. I never thought I'd say that because when I was a nurse I hated doing the charting, but so far with this I'm actually really enjoying it. It's kind of nice. Oh yeah, the other thing I did the first week that I forgot to mention was go to a concert. I went to this Jimi Hendrix tribute show where all these different famous guitar players will kind of pay tribute to Jimi Hendrix, and it was awesome. It was so much fun, courtesy of a customer from work, from the warehouse where I work at. So thank you, Nikki, if you're watching this. You very may well be, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was so fun, and it was so cool to just do that right off of house arrest. It was so nice to just be in a room where there was like live music going on. So I started that job and then got ready for that hike. The next week I went on the hike and that was really intense. Again, check out the video if you want to see it, but I did, I really was not expecting to finish that hike. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, and I thought I was going to have to make that video. Like while I was making the video out there, I was kind of preparing for whether it was going to be a video where I finished the hike or it was just going to be a video of like being out in nature and being on a hike. But then as I started doing it, I got pretty determined and I actually finished it, but it was hard. It was intense. But I'm really glad I finished and it was awesome. Next time I'm going to take it a little easier, I think. But that was just a great way to start this new episode of my life. I just needed to do that. I needed to get outside and I needed to do something in nature before the winter hit, and I wasn't going to be able to do that kind of stuff anymore for a few more months. So since I got back from that hike, it's been 2 weeks now, and I am there's been a lot of, it feels like almost catch up stuff to do. You know, being on house arrest, I was so dug into this routine that I had, and it felt really good to be in that routine. And since I've been off house arrest, there really hasn't been much of a routine. There's still elements of my routine that I'm doing that are pretty locked in, but relative to the residential confinement situation, it has been a lot more sort of chaotic. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's been fun because a lot of that stuff is just kind of randomly being able to do stuff again, you know, without having to really plan it out or get approval. It's the first time that I've been able to do things last minute, just kind of somebody's like, hey, do you want to go do this right now? And I can, you know, so I've been sort of enjoying the spontaneity of actually being able to go out and engage with people. But as nice as that's been, I'm actually kind of over it already a little bit, to be honest. And I find myself very eager to get locked back into a routine. Not just because I think I thrive in a routine setting. That's why I think I did so well in prison and on house arrest, is because the elimination of choices is really, I've found to be, the elimination of choices was really transformative for me. So it's not only just that, but I've realized that without a solid routine and with all the stuff that I have going on right now that I'm juggling, it's going to be really easy for me to put my wellness, my wellness practices, my healthy lifestyle stuff that I love so much on the back burner. And part of that is actually the YouTube channel too. It'll be easy for me to get this YouTube channel on the back burner, which is what I absolutely don't want to do, because this has really been just such an amazing component to my journey going forward, having this YouTube channel. And it's just been so cool how it's been blowing up lately. Like, there's been so many new subscribers and so much more activity on the channel. And I realize that this is something that I need to dedicate myself to. I need to put it as a front priority in the work that I'm doing, right? I know that this is more important than the other jobs. So that brings me to talking about the channel and how I want to proceed here. I realize I need to make a commitment publicly in order to make sure that I stick with it. So I just want to commit to making videos regularly again. I want to commit to at least a video a week or every 2 weeks. So I would like to do, it's hard to sometimes make a full-on video like I make with all the editing and stuff and all the different shots and everything everywhere. It's hard to put that together every week without it being just sort of, you know, just content for the sake of content. If I'm going to put some effort into a video, I want to just kind of have something to say and want to do it right. So I need to either be making a video check-in with you guys every week, or if I don't make it every week, the reason that I'm missing a week and doing it in 2 weeks is because I'm actively working on one of those more, you know, involved videos where it takes longer to shoot it, it takes longer to edit it and do all that stuff. Like, it took me 2 straight full days of editing completely, like from when I got up to when I went to sleep, to put together that hike video. That's kind of a more involved video than usual, right? So I'm kind of thinking more like my day in the life on house arrest video kind of quality stuff. I want to kind of shoot for that sort of stuff each week, with a little bit deeper message, maybe. Just not necessarily like a message that I'm trying to preach, but like a message from my experience, where I'm really sharing something real about my experience, because I think that's ultimately what this is really about. This whole channel, for me, it's really about sharing my experience, being vulnerable as much as I can, and actually sharing what this journey is like. And it kind of gets back to my original purpose of this channel, my original idea for why I started it in the first place, is that I wanted to sort of document my life. Rebuilding my life from scratch is a phrase that I often use. And honestly, this is the most important part of that journey right now, I think, so far. I've been incarcerated since I started this channel, and this is the first time that I'm out. I mean, I am on parole, and there are some restrictions with that. It's preventing me from fully going for the life that I want to have, that I'm hoping to have, but I have those goals set in mind and I'm trying to move in that direction. And this channel is a huge part of that. And on this new step, now that I'm released and I actually do have a lot more freedom to basically live my life how I want, mostly, it's important for me to continually be making steps towards this life that I'm rebuilding. And I find that this channel can be a huge motivator for me to just stay on track and actually do the work to get where I want to get. So I need to keep focused on those things. I need to keep focused on my goals as well as just my day-to-day well-being, and continue to explore how to thrive as much as possible and make content about it, because that's really what I'm here for. That's why I do this, is because I want to prove to myself that, after a life of heavy drug use, from pretty much high school age, where drugs were really my main focus, I need to prove to myself that I am capable of accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. And you guys really help keep me accountable. And if I let these videos start to, be less and less often, or like I'm getting busy and so I'm kind of putting this aside, that is not only just me not making more content, that is me getting off track. And this is a very, fertile time for me, being fresh out of prison, fresh off of incarceration, but it's also a very volatile time. I realize that. And, I do have a history of heavy drug addiction, and I want to be very aware of how I proceed here. I don't want to ever do that again. I don't want to go back to that. I feel so good, and I felt so much joy and so much just wellness in my life over these last few years, even being locked up, that I just don't, I can't, I know that this is way better. I know that this is the way, and I know that if I don't keep going down this path, then the only thing to do else is stagnate, and stagnation leads to, wanting to be pacified, because you don't feel good from your stagnation. You don't feel good from your stagnation in life. And for me, the solution to that is drugs, to pacify myself. So I'm not anywhere close to that at this point. I'm not, it's not like I'm really thinking about, like if I don't get going, then I'm like, I'm having these cravings for, going back and shooting up or something. That's not where I'm at right now. But still, this is a very important time for me to set boundaries for myself and set routines for myself that will facilitate my flourishing, if you will. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'm gonna get to work on another video right away, and I will have that up for you soon. And I just want to thank everybody who is here, who's watching this, who has been following this channel, who's new to this channel. Everybody who is here is important to me. Those of you who have reached out through email, or that I've been in touch with through email or on texting or video calls or whatever, you are all very important to me as well. Everyone that I've ever been in touch with, even the ones that I've kind of fallen out of touch with now, I know I can be pretty spotty sometimes about whether I'm in touch or out of touch. The truth about that is that I don't really do well with being in touch with too many people at once. It overwhelms me. It makes me feel anxious, that I'm not getting back to everybody, and I've kind of had to, put some boundaries up for myself where I'm just not, I'm trying to tell myself to not feel obligated to respond to everybody all the time. And that's just because if I am responding to everybody all the time and kind of engaging with people all the time, I start to put my own needs on the back burner, and then that's kind of scary to me. So I have been sort of limiting my contact with everybody right now, and that's I think that might be just sort of a feature of my own healthcare routine, my own well-being routine. So I just want you all to know that I appreciate each and every one of you, and this whole thing wouldn't be happening without you, and you're all a part of it. Okay, that's all. I love you all. I'll see you soon.